do you think that the mobile device, carrying around whatever it is, 5 or 6 years, will have the same displacement of broadband network infrastructure by mobile, the way we've had in voice? People think that's going to happen?
I think the predominant way that inquiries will be made over the internet will be through mobile devices. You know, in a conversation with Microsoft, I told a fairly significant executive there that the eyeballs are going to get to the web over a mobile device. I don't think he believed me, but I think he believes me now. But the rate of data consumption is unbelievable. And the Clear network, a mobile device, will consume 7 gigabytes of data a month. And I know that if you play with the price, this is a very elastic product. What we want and what we're willing to pay for are somewhat different. But over time, as we've seen with the consumption of minutes on mobile voice networks, so for instance, if you're on a mobile voice network in Europe, it's pretty expensive. And guess what? The consumption in Europe is probably about 500 minutes a month. The average consumption in North America, which is pretty cheap for voice, is approaching 2,000 minutes a month. So, you know, the fact is that we can talk a lot. I'm particularly good at it. And the other thing is that we can consume a lot of data. And just downloading a movie just consumes a lot of data. And you know, if you're doing real-time videoing with your friends on YouTube, that consumes a lot of data. So I think the fixed line is always going to be a way of, you know, caching, because a lot of your content doesn't have to be in real time. And therefore, you're going to be looking for the least expensive way of getting the information you want. So the real-time stuff is always going to be the most expensive. Although, you know, you may think, I want to share something, you know, my dog's jumping and retrieving, you know, whatever. And my friends are really interested in this, I want to show that. That is expensive on a mobile network. So you're already seeing some of the mobile operators saying, I'm not going to allow this peer-to-peer stuff. But you know what? We want it. And we have a habit as human beings of getting what we want. And so ultimately, the technologists have to address the cost structure to make that possible. But I don't think you know, it's cheap. A fixed line, once you've got it in, the maintenance cost on it is the only thing you're really dealing with there.
Yeah, so I would look at this from a value perspective. It's almost like, who cares? You know, who cares if the fixed line's there? Because the margin and the growth profile of services on that path in the context of you know, you guys is completely different than the mobile environment. And so I would just follow Google. You know, what's Google doing? And you know, it was a year ago, if you walked into an operator or a venture capitalist and said, I have a business model that's based on, you know, ads, they'd say, you're crazy. There's no way that's going to work and we're not funding it. Now, it's the most popular thing in the world because Google has come to the conclusion that there's enough good phones, good networks, and good content that come together. And so their focus is ad-based revenue. And so everybody's attention is shifted to business models that, you know, will be built on ad-based, you know, business models. And so from a fixed line replacement standpoint, it'll certainly still be there, but I wouldn't spend much of my time focused on markets that are going to use that as a delivery means, just because I don't think there's a lot of value there.